Hey! Okay, it tells me there's, oh, quite a few people on. So I lost my other footage. It just went black and I couldn't figure out how to do it and I ended up accidentally shutting it off. So I'm making little shaker tags. This is for my swap that I'm in for Scrap the World. I hope you guys that were with me before are back. I certainly appreciate the company. I've been crafting today. Been so excited that I can actually get in my craft room and do some things. And now I'm looking for my glue gun because I've lost it. If you saw my craft room, you'd probably figure probably a pretty good reason why I lost it. It's terrible in here right now. Where's everybody from? I asked that before. I love knowing where everybody's coming from or tuning in from. Oh, Florida, nice. Ooh, England, sweet. California. Oh, I love it. That like excites me to. Oh, I'm afraid it's gonna go black again. I might have to just try this another day. Oh, so sorry. This is exactly what it did before, and I cannot figure out how to make it go back because I can see everything. It's because I got a call. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do to make it come back up again. Like, I can see everything from my end, and I can even see your chat, but it's coming up on the laptop as black. Ah, I'm so sorry. I'll try this again. There we go. I'm not sure what I did because it told me earlier I was live and it still wasn't showing up on the screen. All right, so I've got 2 more to go. I'm making little shakers for my tag swap. And I kind of just came on live because I was having a lot of fun having some conversation with you all and just crafting my little heart out. Anybody working on anything today? I absolutely love watching other people while I'm creating stuff. But if it's something that I'm really want to try, then I'll have to go back and watch it again half the time. But there's some people I just even like listening to. Even if I know how to make the craft itself. I like getting different perspectives and different takes when people do stuff, though. We all kind of like look at everything just a little bit different, so it's kind of fun to see their ideas and see how they think things through, even, or to make something easier. It's kind of like nursing and watching somebody perform a a skill in and then doing it yourself and then thinking, oh, well, I can make this a little bit easier on myself by doing this or that. I don't know. Thank you. I'm going to have to do that. I usually do have it on Do Not Disturb between 8 and 4, which is so random that it would come through. But it was the school that time, but they send me a text message, an email, and a voicemail every time. But my son's school was on lockdown earlier. Ugh. Nobody's hurt, and it's all fine. It's just somebody said they wanted to hurt themselves. I don't think they threatened anyone, but it's so scary and sad. But thank you. I'm going to have to go back and look at my phone. I'm going to try to get through some of this and chit chat with you guys for a little while. And you know, a junk journal is something I have not done. I used to love journaling. I used to love to read until I went to nursing school, and now all of a sudden I couldn't tell you the last book that I read. Although I did buy a book in the last couple weeks, but I have yet to even start it. Which is weird because I've been in the doctor's offices a lot lately. You'd think I'd have time to at least start looking at it. I don't even think I've took it with me. Oh, you make envelopes with them? Hi, Sandra. Yep, I'm back. Oh, it's so crazy. It makes me want to try to get my thing as Do Not Disturb. You know, I'm thinking that because that the school called earlier and it didn't ring through, that maybe because it's a multiple call it did that. And I do have like my mom and my kids and my significant other on my favorite list. Because while I'm at work, if they call me, then I like to have those calls actually ring through. But I'm thinking the other day I saw it where if like a phone number calls you multiple times, that it'll start ringing through. But yeah, I need to set that or make sure I've got it set up. Oh, look how cute that is. I love these. And I like that sound. Okay, I'm just such a shaker person, but so I have 7 of them. I only need 5, so I'll just pick out the 5 cutest ones. I did, while I was offline earlier, run up and get some faux fur. I got this from Walmart. This has like an edge to it, so you can kind of put the glue on it and stick it down. And I was thinking that this would look really cute on here. Or they have other faux fur. This is thick and quick. Let's see. And it doesn't have the edge, but it's nice and thick. So it's kind of easier to manipulate on little projects like this. And I thought it would be fun to have a little fur top on these. I think all I need is the one. Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm looking at your last name. Is it Fleming? One of my daughter's best friends has the same last name. Looks so familiar to me. I think I'm just going to hot glue these down. I might use this to figure out how long to make the others. Oops. See, I got 5. I need 2 more. I don't know why I keep throwing them both down. They have some other colors in this too, but I thought maybe the pink would go good with this white faux fur. But I also picked up this one because somebody was telling me that they had colors on them. And this one is called Chinchilla, which I thought was kind of cool because we actually have a chinchilla. But it kind of has like a gray undertone, which would probably be really pretty with this, but... yeah, I like the white better. I'll try to kind of pull the excess off. When I did ornaments with this stuff, I noticed how much lint I had afterwards hanging around. It's funny. I'll lay it across there, and then I might even trim it a little. We'll see. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like the fur? I kind of like the fur. I'm actually making these for a tag swap that I'm in. It's a Christmas tag swap that I was in last year, and I rejoined it again this year, and it's a lot of fun. I like doing swaps. It kind of gets me motivated at time. And I love seeing what other people come up with as well. And if you're kind of new to YouTube, it kind of helps get you a following, and even if you're not interested in things like that, it kind of still puts you in like a little crafty community where you can get ideas from and feed off each other. And unfortunately, I get enabled as much as I'm an enabler of craft supplies. Ha, I love that. It's getting cold here in Virginia. I'm sure it's been cold everywhere else. I used to work for directory assistants way back in my early 20s. And at that time, you answered the phone, "City, please," and then you looked up their listing and you sent it through whatever they wanted a number for. And it wasn't a bad job, but I used to get asked all the time if I was, "Where are you from, Georgia?" I'd be like, "Virginia." "Well, you sound like you're from Georgia." But I do live in the midst of the Appalachian Mountains, so I probably do. I do have a little bit of an accent, I've been told. I always love to hear people's accents, but I couldn't tell you where they're from by their accent. I'm just not any good at that. Unless it's Australian, then I can kind of pick up on that one, but I love them. And I always tell people, I wish I had a cuter accent than this hick one. But it's okay. I don't really mind it. Isn't that the truth? And listening to yourself in a recording really makes a difference because you're like, oh gosh, is that me? I got some of these just a little bit long. The paper that I used on the very bottom part that has like the snowflakes that are raised up, they're kind of like embossed and kind of, maybe I got a little glitter in them. That paper came from Tuesday Morning. It's a real pretty set. Let me see if I can get it real quick. My Tuesday mornings are so funny. It's called White Christmas, and it's die cuts with a view, and it's got like all these real pretty like light green colors in it. And it's so nice. And there's some embossed pieces, and these are actual stickers in the back. But I really like this. I think this would be pretty on an ornament too. But this is the paper that's on the bottom, and it's kind of like an embossed glitter snowflake. But it's like grays and like that muted green, and I don't know, it's really pretty. I found it, and then I don't know, I went to a different Tuesday morning at another time and found another one, and actually bought 2 of them. But like even this wood panel piece kind of looks like it's got that green undertone almost. And then notes. These are like little tag cut aparts. Really pretty. So that was the underside. The pink paper is from Home Shopping Network. I use the same for these little lanterns. It's an Anna Griffin. I want to say it's metallic. I don't know. It's a pink shimmer. It's really pretty. And this silver is hers as well. And I just kind of cut the tag out of those. And I used some 5 ml foam. I'd really like to find the 3 ml. The ones that I've seen at my craft stores, it's only like the 1 and the 5. There is some on Etsy, and somebody just told me earlier in the video that there was 3 ml through AliExpress through Alina Crafts, so I might try hers. But I would like to have it a little sooner, so we'll see. And there is somebody on Etsy that sells it too. Added a little faux fur to the boots. I think I want to add some greenery around it. I have this. These are some little thinlits from Hobby Lobby. But I'd like to add like something like this one or this one to kind of hang with it too. I don't know. Anybody got any good ideas? Oh, I should hold it this way. I forget. Man, that faux fur is all over this desk. Let's see. I've got something here that I can do something with it. This is just one of those little lint brushes that they sell at the Dollar Tree. The little faux fur was everywhere. I'm probably still not done cutting on it, but I don't know. What else do y'all think I should add to this? I need to add a hanging element. It's supposed to have a to and from on it. And I think at least a sentiment. At least 1 sentiment on there. I asked this in the earlier chat, but what's everybody having for dinner tonight? I think I'm going to do shrimp scampi. I found some at the store yesterday. Usually I just make my own. I got a recipe online that was garlic, butter, Italian dressing, and of course shrimp. And I think that's really good. Like I usually just steam it. I'm also doing these lanterns. This is the back part because the front part has this little edge to it. It's kind of embossed in there. So I actually did turn it over to do the back one. And I thought about doing a shaker for this one too, but I don't know. Of course, I didn't lay the acetate to the back of it, so I guess I can't now, but this is that art glitter glue. It kind of dries nice and quick, but you still have a little bit of leeway, time to get it placed before it does. I really like it. I put that super fine tip in the nozzle of this earlier. I'm gonna have to go find my wire. I think it would be fun to add a piece of wire into the sides of these. And I feel like you could probably poke it into the foam and put a little bit of hot glue there to make it kind of hold. That would be really cute. I think I'm gonna do that. This is a Tim Holtz die. Ah, sorry. And it's called Rustic Lantern. And it comes, I guess, with the little piece to adjust the lantern. I guess if it was an oil lantern. I've got glue all over me. And this piece. And you know, I looked online to see what to use these pieces for, and I couldn't find anybody that did a video on this one. So I'm pretty sure that this is the little piece that is the knob. So I did do the little 1 ml foam, thinking that I didn't want to pop it up too far off of there, but I'd like it to have a little bit of depth. But I was thinking it might even be cuter as a different color. I don't know. Ah, that's so cute. I would like to add something to kind of have a little bit more depth on this. My art glitter glue is kind of making this curl up a little. I might need to put something heavy on top of it and make it stay there. Flo, what are you knitting? Or what are you making? Nice, a sweater, huh? I wish I could knit. Well, you know, I say that, but I probably really shouldn't be taking on any other crafting. You know, like I would really like to make cakes too, but I have so many different craft interests that I really can't afford to take on another one. But I was talking about earlier how I used to do directory assistance, and there were a bunch of ladies in there that knew how to crochet, and I tried, but I just couldn't get it. I was too frustrated by it. But my ex-husband, he got good at it. He worked there too. We came back from him being in the military, and the jobs around here are just awful. If you don't, like I say, if you don't work at this large paper mill that we have here, there's not a whole lot there. And it was before he got on at the smaller plant that they have in town, that we worked at the phone company together. And those ladies taught him how to crochet, and he's pretty good at it. I'll give him that. I was too frustrated by it. I don't know. It's so funny because some of the crafts I do aren't, you know, they're just as much or more involved than doing that. Sometimes when you use those 3D dies, you can see the black core come out of it, and I'm seeing that on the side. It's getting me. So I'm trying to get it off of there. I'm trying to decide if I want that on there or not yet. I guess I'll go ahead and put it on. Yeah, you probably would have ended up finishing my project too. It's so funny how some certain things frustrate people and certain things don't. Because paper crafting can be that way. But I guess I think that if I mess something like this up, then I can always go back and fix it a little. If I mess a sweater up, that's probably it. Well, I guess you could always just go back. I had a feeling you might be able to crochet. I have a friend that makes blankets, and she does a really good job with them. My grandmother used to make blankets. I even have a few that she made still. Um, It's so funny because I can remember some of the colors of the blankets were so, that my mom had, like, didn't go with anything. Like, the colors were so odd, but it was probably what they had access to at that time, especially for this area where I live. It's kind of a small area, and it was before we even had a Walmart. I'm upset that I didn't get all this off of here when I glued this down. Here we go. I might have some wire down here. A lot of my jewelry making stuff was upstairs. I've slowly moved some of it down here in the basement. My daughter's room used to be down here, and I kind of just, well, she left for JMU. I kind of took over half of it, and then when she came back and decided to move out, I took over the whole thing, and we put down new flooring and all that good stuff. But I've got it jammed full of craft stuff. That's why I can't afford to get into anything else. I don't even have any more room anyway. I need like a whole craft house at the rate I'm going. All right. I've got to do something different with my little, I've got this little stamp set that says Believe, Peace, Joy, and Mary. That would be pretty cute on one of these. think I might just sit here and glue some of these little lanterns up. I guess, Flo, I would need somebody who was really patient to teach me how to do that and how to fix my mistakes. That's pretty cool. Oh, I just kind of decided at the last second to go live. I don't know. And the first live, I ended up having to cut it off because my screen went blank. But as you can see, this little lantern, it has to be facing a certain way in order for you to glue this on. This one has a little bit of the black. Anytime you cut through those steel rule dies, every now and again, it'll leave a little bit of that black foam that's in it around your die. But you have to make sure you go a certain way. There is like a little indentation in this one, but really to solve that on the back part, you just have to glue it on that side facing down. I love this little lantern. I might have to see if I can find, I'm pretty sure I've got some kind of ribbon that could go around the edge of that. It's a great idea. So happy to just be crafting. It's been a long week. This is my, I needed this today. I went to bed last night thinking, I don't have to go anywhere today. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to craft all day long. Craft my little heart out. Hi, Rosie from Wisconsin. Hey, Sharon. Oh, that's pretty cool. Monica, Germany, huh? That's awesome. Thanks for stopping by. My craft room used to be in like a den. We call it our sunroom because it's kind of like a second living room almost, but there's windows on the front and the back part of the house on it. So we kind of just ended up calling it the sunroom, but that's where a lot of my stuff was, and sometimes still is, because I still like to craft at that table. I get a lot of good lighting there. There's not that much good lighting down here. There's 2 lights in here, and Jim put in nice bright ones, so it's better than it was, but it's just kind of dim. Oh, we got a couple people from Wisconsin. That's really cool. Tennessee. Now, every year, usually around Christmas, we end up in Tennessee. We actually go down to Asheville, North Carolina, and then we come back up and go through Gatlinburg. And I love going down there. But I feel like that's like the closest part to Virginia that Tennessee is. Sometimes we'll even go up through Johnson City. I remember one year I was making Jim stop at every Michael's between here and there, um, so that I could find some wrapping paper that they had out that I so wanted, and I finally found some in, I think, Bluefield. But no, I take that back. It might have been Johnson City that I found it at. Because every time we go through there, now he'll say, "Yeah, remember that time you made me go to all those Michaels?" I'm like, "Yeah, fun times." Good times, good times. He's such a good sport on things like that when he knows I'm looking for something. I was wanting to make these shadow boxes, and I just wanted that wrapping paper so bad. You'll have to help me decide which tag I'm going to use. I may come back later and not do a live, but just do a project share of these and see what you think. I missed my middle daughter's cardiology appointment a couple weeks ago because we got caught up in traffic on our way over there. They're working on a section of road and they have pretty much everything blocked off. And we sat there for 30 minutes, and it already takes an hour and 15 minutes to get there anyway. And so I thought I'd left in enough time, but I should have left sooner. I called and we were going to be 10 minutes late, and they're like, "Well, we should probably reschedule you." And I was like, because we've been waiting like 3 months to see a cardiologist as it is. Thankfully, we're going back tomorrow, so it only put us back a couple weeks, but she's been a little symptomatic with this fast heart rate for no reason. And we've already wore a Holter monitor and done the echocardiogram, and echo was good. The Holter monitor shows she is having extra beats. And so I'm sure that's what she's feeling, when she does feel funny. But she's also having a high heart rate at times as well. Ah, I think that is so cute. I do wish that it was a pink edge. And I guess if you were particular and didn't want this pink edge or weren't going to make this, or even if you wanted to still make it a shaker, you could build the pink pieces up several times to make this a shaker. Knoxville, huh? I haven't been to Chattanooga, I don't guess. I have to stop and read the chat every so often. We've been over to like the Smoky Mountains and walked up to Klingman's Dome one year. And uh, oh my gosh, I have asthma and it doesn't really even bother me, but I had just a little bit um, issues with just being able to breathe at that high altitude, but it was fun. Jim was a good sport. He stopped every 20 feet with me so I could catch my breath. Oh, I love the mountains too. My brother lives in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Well, actually near there, like Grottos. And just between here and there, the mountains kind of disappear. And I notice it, like when I'm over there, I'm like, they are so far away from where I am. Like you can kind of see some in the background, but, just for an hour drive in, a north direction, it's like, what a big difference. And I miss the mountains whenever I go up there, but I have a feeling before it's all said and done, we're going to kind of move up that way. And my little niece Madison, they've moved up towards that way too. So I've got one brother up there, and now my niece and other sister-in-law is up that way. So maybe one day we'll head that way. Jim wants to go back and work in the DC area, but I'm like, okay. But he figures he'll commute, in towards that way because it's hard to afford to live up there. I don't know how anybody does it, honestly. Indian boundary, huh? I'll have to say something to Jim about that because he loves hiking. I do too, but I don't know. I've been having issues with my knees and feet for a couple years now, so it's hard for me to even go a couple miles if it's flat. Now, if it's flat, I could do fine all day long, but if it's going kind of up and down an incline, I don't know, my knees are... I had arthroscopic surgery last year, and all they could find was a lot of arthritis. And I'm pretty young for that. So I don't know. We try to go and find different waterfalls. I'm trying to think of one of them that was down that way. Because we were thinking about trying to hit it not too long ago, but it's been so dry this summer. The year I had my hysterectomy, Jim and me tried to go to this area, Devil's Bathtub. And we didn't realize you had to cross a stream 5 different times. And I can remember getting past the first one and thinking, oh yeah, we got this. And I was so proud. And then, because we drove about an hour out of the way to go to it. And then we got to the second part, and there was another stream, and it was much deeper. And we were like, And by then it's December, it's cold. You can't really get your feet wet and get over it. So we bought boots after that, so if we ever go back, we'll have them. And each year we just hadn't been able to go because we figure it won't be any fun unless the bathtub is full. But I would love to go to that. I felt like I was being such a trooper that one year too when we were actually going, because I was maybe a week post-op. I wasn't having any pain, but I was thinking if I kept messing around like I didn't have any sense, that I might have been. Bald River Falls, I'll have to tell him. We love going to see different falls. We just went to a fire tower. Well, it's been a little while since we went to it. And my knee started giving me some issues. I don't know, I'll just have to try wearing a brace. Pre-medicate. Try it again. I don't think being on concrete floors 12 hours a day is helping, but I can't help that. At least not yet. Arkansas, hey. That's cool, Brenda. How are you? Well, thanks everybody for keeping me company. I appreciate it. I love talking back and forth and finding out where all you were from and chit-chatting. I might have to set this up one day and like get a lot more stuff ready and have it all planned out. My problem is a lot of times even when I do things like this, I go back and add stuff to it or all kinds of different things. So I never feel like I've got everything all planned out ahead of time. But I might have to do one of my ornaments live. I think sometimes when I put these out at night, you know, like if I do the video for a night release instead of like a morning, it does seem like they do a little better. I thought on Saturdays, 9 a.m. would be a good time, but, and I don't think that's a bad time, but I didn't get one out till night one time and it seemed like it did a little bit better. And it might just be the ornament itself just interested more people than the other one did, or other ones. So here's my little lantern. I've got 3 so far. I got 5 of these. I'm trying to decide if I want to use this for my little tag or if I'm going to use the lantern. We'll see. I might even send in both. I'm not sure. And then this little piece is like for the little dial on it. That's so cute. I might pick some of the little black out of this. I think the more you use those dies, the more that little part of the black foam kind of comes out of the die. That's what I was thinking, Flo. I mean, if I've already went to the trouble of making them, might as well send them both. Or try to get in another swap real quick. I'm starting to get hungry. What time is it? 3:21. Probably gonna have to break off here in a little bit and get some food. Anybody else crafting it up today? Or is it just me and Flo? I love watching other people make stuff too, though. It's like the guilty pleasure, and I don't know, here lately, I feel like I need to do like 10 things at one time. It's probably ADHD. But I love watching stuff and creating something at the same time. And that's what I was doing earlier before I decided to do the live. And I thought, well, I'll jump on here and just see if anybody's out there. And I'm glad I did. I like getting to talk with you all. Kind of makes it fun. I stuck that on the wrong way, so we're going to try to make the best of that by going ahead and putting both pieces on. See how this works out for me. I could have made that mistake earlier. I would have had glue on both sides real fast. This is definitely made so it only goes a certain way when you go to stack them. But that worked out in my favor because I had glue on both sides. I'm going to try to do that on purpose this time now. No way, Flo. I hate that. I love that name too. And I had a patient recently in the hospital that had one of those. It's just a name you don't hear very often. I wish I could remember what it was now. Maybe I'll remember here in a minute, but I just loved calling her out her name every time I walked in the room. Okay. Well, I thought I was doing it backwards at first, so I was like, well, let me do it the other way and then stick it down. But that worked out okay. Last one. I think I want to add some wire to this. Trying to decide what else I'm going to add to it. Figure out I might add some little greenery or some flowers. Like poinsettia flowers, not just any old flower. I like the idea of the shabby look, you know, with the pink colors. And for me, that's actually something a little different because a lot of times I stick with traditional colors. So I'm trying to go outside my norm. I mean, I make things in pink, but typically not. I don't know, I guess when I see this little lantern, I think of the little red lanterns or a little black lantern. Ah. I go back and try to kind of get rid of the excess glue so that it doesn't get on the actual piece. And I have got glue all over me, which is okay. I like to peel it off. This art glitter glue dries clear too, so if it does get kind of around some of these little buildup in the areas, it's not as hard to, it's a little harder to see. Ah, I just bent my top a little. I'm trying to slide this down and I've got glue on my fingers. There we go. Trying to slide it down where some of that white doesn't show as much. All right. I cut the little pieces out of the bigger piece, but I thought that maybe that was a little bit too large or too stuck too far out there. For the little knob. I don't know, what do you think? I actually kind of like the larger one. Yep. have the Sizzix Big Shot. I had one years ago that was from Stampin' Up, which the Big Shot and the all those are kind of like, even though they have a different name, they're pretty much all the same. And I recently did buy the one from Home Shopping Network that Anna Griffin has. That's called the Impress. Just because it's an automated one, like you can put your stuff in and it runs it through yourself and you don't have to crank it. It was either that or I thought about getting one of the platinum ones that Spellbinders have. But they all work about the same. I know a lot of people really like, like their Cuddle Bugs. I don't think you can go wrong. I have always loved die cutting, and I love my die cutting machine. And the Empress, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. Like, I guess because I'm so used to the Sizzix platforms and knowing what to use for them, that maybe I'll get used to it. But at the same time, I hate that sound when the stuff goes through there. I'm always afraid I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. So we'll see how long it lasts. But I kind of wanted one that was automatic just because it is nice if you're making something like these of not having to keep cranking. And I probably should have at least done my little die cut pieces through it. But the foam is so thick that I was scared to put it through that machine because I'm afraid that I'm going to break my Big Shot. I at one time used to have the old Sizzix machine that you actually had to pull down the handle and do the die cutting. I even had one of those at one time. And then once they came out with the other Big Shot, I got one of those. All right, so here they are with the little handle that sticks out further than the other one and the one that's kind of close. I kind of like the one that's further. I hope I got an extra pink piece because I might build this one up with just another piece of the thin foam and just make two pieces on there. Because I kind of like how it sticks out a little further, especially if I do add some greenery to that. Make it cute. Die cutting these are like dies, and this is like a metal die. And you send it through this little machine with some cutting plates, and it cuts out your image. So it cut out the little skates, and you can kind of paper piece it to do different colors. And I just ran like the silver through, and I didn't even put the whole die, the whole die under the silver piece, so I wouldn't waste that much cardstock to get that silver piece. And then I die cut this piece with the pink to get the pink top to it. And I also used this one to die cut the foam so I could make the shaker element in this. And then this die is a steel rule die. And you can cut all kinds of different materials with these. It'll go through anything. These will probably cut the foam and paper, but you wouldn't want to cut anything else with it. This can cut fabric, up to 6 sheets of paper. They're really nice. The steel rule dies are really nice. And this is a Tim Holtz rustic lantern. And I really like the steel rule dies. They're a little bit more expensive, of course, but depending on what kind of project you're doing or something, this is really nice to have these. But I've done paper crafting for years, and when they started bringing out dies and doing die cutting, I got so excited. But dies are pretty expensive, so I I have gotten quite a few dies off of AliExpress. Um, and I expressed my concern earlier with getting them that way. Is the only problem with AliExpress is like, so this is the way dies usually come in these packages, and it kind of shows you what's in them, and you can kind of tell what they are on these. But I have some that I've gotten from AliExpress, and it takes like almost a month sometimes to get them. So by the time I get them, sometimes I actually do forget what I've ordered. So they just come in clear packages like this, and I can tell that this one is a little lantern itself. I think this is like a vase, and these are like some trees. But there are some that I have, and one that I looked at earlier, and it like took me a few minutes to figure out what it was because I couldn't even remember. And it's been a while since I'd gotten it for me to even know what it was. So this is what it looks like. You know, it comes in just clear packaging. I can see it says celebrate, and it's the outline of the word and then the words itself. But I was like, this must be a gift box. Must be a gift box. So I'm like going back through my stuff trying to find out what it is. And I feel silly now that I figured out what it is. But this is actually a little Happy Meal box. And these are the little pieces that can go on the top. And it's so cute. Like, I don't know. I love it. But it has like some other little cutouts and some, a snowflake in there. And it's really cute. Do not open until December 25th. And I don't know. I need to put it together so I'll know. And I need to label it so I know what it is. But like I say, it took me a while to remember what it even was. There's some that come, like this one is book pages, and you can layer them up, and it's so cute. I almost made my tag out of this, but it's too big. She didn't want the tag to be more than 3 to 4 inches, and so I was like, well, this one's too big. You know, it's like at least 6.5. I also kind of wanted to use this little dome and make like a little cookies or pastry one, because I thought that would be super cute. But when I cut these out of foam, it stretches the foam too much, so it's hard to fit it around the edge. So if you die cut the foam and then die cut your cardstock, it just seemed like the foam got stretched out too much because it's so thick. So I need some 3mm foam. But that's what die cutting is. I love it. Like, that's my favorite thing about paper crafting is the die cutting. And I started out scrapbooking, and then I started making cards. My sister-in-law invited me to like a Stampin' Up party or something at one time, and so I started making cards, and that really got me into doing stamps and doing different techniques with stamps, like embossing and coloring and all kinds of things. So everything kind of just feeds into itself and adds a little bit more craft things for me to do that builds up my craft collection. I'm thinking about adding little pieces up along through there. You know, I didn't get the mini machine that Anna Griffin had because I thought that I don't travel in craft for one for the most part, so I didn't figure it would do me much good. And to buy the plate system for a whole nother machine plus that, because when I bought hers, I ended up buying the extended plates because I do have some large dies. Some of her dies are large. Um, and so I went ahead and bought those thinking, I would definitely use them, and I already have. I used the haunted house die set that Anna Griffin had out a few months back and made my mom a birthday card out of that. And I think the little machines are nice and cute and compact, but I figure if I'm already at home and I'm die cutting, it wouldn't really matter if I was using the big machine or if I'm gonna do something small, I'll just use my big shot. Brenda, I'll have to look back. I think I've shown me actually using it before. Um, I know like the plate system for the Sizzix is a little, I don't, I want to say it's probably different from what Cricut or the Cuttlebug is versus Spellbinders, versus Anna Griffin. But I'll have to look back. I think I might have a video showing me actually die cutting some stuff. Flo, I have a silhouette cameo, and honestly, you're better off if you've got something that will cut stuff out like that. Die cuts or the die cutting machines themselves, if you already had one, I would just say look on AliExpress for some dies, if you wanted to kind of expand your collection fairly fast. I do know sometimes they sell dies that are from larger companies. I guess they've like stolen their intellectual property per se. So I try to stay away from those, but it's really hard to know who's making what dies because it's hard to keep up with after a while. But there's a lot of companies on there that are legitimate. Nicole Silhouette, she's here on YouTube. She creates a lot of dies. And I'm not entirely sure, but I think she was the one that created this one. And I think there's some other stores that have it for sale, but I know she makes dies for Andy's store. She used to for Elena Crafts, but I think she stopped. She designs dies for KS Crafts. She's very personable. She takes requests. So if people say there's a certain die that they would like to have, she's done them. Um, she did primitive hearts after a request, and I love the primitive hearts myself, so I was super excited to see some of those, and they're in varying sizes, so you can make shakers out of those and layered tags. And if you have a machine, if you don't have a machine, then you can pretty much use your Cricut to cut out whatever you want to cut out. I don't know if you have one of the older ones that have the cartridges or not. I know that they keep updating everything. Lynn's Lane, I think if I were gonna buy another one, honestly, if I bought another one right now because my big shot died, I would get the Spellbinders Platinum machine. And if you have anywhere near you like a Tuesday morning, they do have the Gemini machine, which a lot of people absolutely love. Um, and get one of those where a lot of times it's like half price than what it is in the store. If you look around, even in the next couple weeks for Black Friday, you could probably find a really good deal on one. Um, but I would say any of those machines, they all have a little bit of a learning curve because they all have their own um, die cut plate system. But I think that any of them are great. But like I say, if I buy another one, I'm going for the Spellbinders one, and I want the platinum that has can hold the larger plates, because I like that I can cut some of the larger dies with it. And some of the dies that I have bought in the past that actually make cards, I would have to have one of those in order to be able to fit it. But I guess even now, since I have the Anna Griffin one, I can use it. But I like having the smaller crank one, to do the small or smaller dies. Or if I'm only going to do it one time, or I'll keep that one till it fades out. Oh, you're welcome. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but I think they're all pretty good. They all work the same. They all cut, from what I've heard other people say, they all cut really well. Sometimes it's just dependent on your die. I know at one time people were really wary of even ordering all these dyes from China, but I have a theory on this, is that a lot of the companies that are making those dyes over there are making it for these companies that sell them in the US. They just package them up. So they're pretty much the same quality of dyes for the most part. You might get one here or there that doesn't meet standards, and maybe that's what happens when they bring them over here and they package them. They inspect them, package them, and there is a level of monetary compensation for that, because the packaging can kind of make, definitely can bring the cost of them up. But sometimes when you look at, I don't like the idea of them stealing dye ideas and then reselling them at those really rock bottom cheap prices. I mean, it's good if you're a crafter and you want to buy dyes, but I do feel like that's kind of wrong in that sense of stealing someone's idea. But I have another theory on that too, is if you don't want that to happen, then let's manufacture stuff in the US. Let's create jobs here, because then I would be even willing to pay the bigger bucks for them if I knew that they were actually made in the US. And know that a lot of companies are that way. There are quite a few out there that do that. But it's nice to be able to have the affordability and the options to get some of these, even if you do have to wait a little while to get them. And like one like this is, I've not seen this available here. So the only way you're going to get it is to go to AliExpress. I think I might finish putting on the little front buttons on these, and then I'll probably peace out. I'm going to have to go get me some lunch. I'm getting hungry. I tell you what, if I'm at work, I could eat all day long. And I'm at home, I will put off eating until I'm hours after what I would have been hangry at work. Yeah, I try to think that I probably burn more calories at work than I do at home. I need to do some laundry. I'm kind of glad I hadn't started it yet, because y'all would be hearing it in the background. All right, I'll try to come back on here later tonight and just share my finished product and how these end up coming out. I think I need a little bit extra on this. See you, Flo. Take care. Thanks for spending some time with me. I had fun talking to you. I don't know if you could use any glue, but probably a lot of different glues would be good. I would use something like the art glitter glue, or there's another one called Raptor glue. And then there's also a matte glue that they have out. I'm trying to think what it's called. That would be good for this. This kind of dries decently fast in a sense. Even with putting together like the pieces for the shaker parts that I made, um, it's nice that it kind of dries a little bit quick, but it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. You could definitely use the tape. I did use, like, in order to put the pieces on for the skates, I used the real thin lined sticky tape. And you can get it at Tuesday Morning or online anywhere, really. I think it's called Matte Medium. I'm trying to think what type of glue it is. But the reason I like this one is if I squeeze a little bit out, it dries clear and you can't really see it. If you use something like glossy accents, you'll see that spillage of glue. And this is real good about not seeing the spillage. But there are a bunch of, matte type glues that you can use. You could use Fabri-Tac. It's a really good one. This one just has kind of like a big nozzle on it, so I didn't use it this time, but it's really good too. And this is the one I put the little 3M piece on. I'm going to build it up a little. I like that look. Brenda, I live in a small town too. Walmart and Dollar Tree are all we have. I have to pretty much drive an hour to go get any of the good stuff. And this art glitter glue, I pretty much have to get it off of Amazon. Nobody else, well, I don't know that any of the craft stores sell it. They might. I know they do sell the Fabri-Tac. Walmart has the Fabri-Tac, and I do like it for a good glue that really holds. If you can put it in like a smaller bottle, like they do make some of these little bottles like this that you can use and put the little fine tip on, it would be good. This Tombow Mono multi is a really good one too. Oh, here's the other one. As you can see, it's very well loved. It's by Ranger, but it's a multi-matte, medium matte glue. I love this stuff, but I don't think it'll even squeeze out of here, honestly. Let me see. Yeah, I'm thinking this is pretty well done. I wish they come in, they do have this in bigger bottles, but this is really good for if, when you're trying to work in a little small area. But I put the little really fine tip in the top of this so that it wouldn't come out gloppy. So I know I'm going to add a little bit of wire to these at the top and try to, I think I'm just going to hot glue that in. I think that'll be cute. And then these, all of them, I need to add some type of sentiment on them. And there needs to be a to and from on them as well. So I might put it on the back of these down here, maybe. Or I may just add like a little separate tag to it. We'll see. I should have already had these done by now, but I had to work like 5 out of 6 days in a row this past week. It's been, and I don't know, but I got home and every night I went to bed by 9. Like, I'm such a wuss. I couldn't take it. And I didn't have horribly bad days at work. They were busy, but they weren't, I've been busier. But to get home and get the kids something to eat and make sure that homework's done, that was about all I had in me. Arrange these this way. Lynn, I hope you have a good evening as well. Thanks for coming by and talking to me. Well, you guys take care. I'll try to pop back in here and show the finished results here later. And I might just record it and post it real quick tonight. Or I might just even come back on and do a quick live. Once the kids get home from school, it gets a little harder to do that. So we'll see. I think I'm losing my voice. Okay, so does this go on the inside? I'm thinking like this is part of the little lantern part that should be on the inside, but I'm not really sure. But I think I'm going to leave it off anyway. Okay, anyway. Come back and see me. Thanks for so much for spending some time with me. I hope you guys have a great night. Take care. Oh, Sharon, I'll show you that real quick. I've got this faux fur from Walmart. And it's Joann's had it online. I did not see it in the store for like half price of what you can get it at Walmart. But they have some that have this little ridge on it where you can kind of glue it down. And then they have other that is, this is called thick and quick faux fur. But it's all gopher faux. And this is thick and quick because it's like a solid piece. So I ended up using kind of the solid piece because I was worried that I'd use too much hot glue on that thing and melt it. But look how pretty that is. I've used it on some Christmas ornaments that I made. But I thought it would be fun to give them that little fur top to them. I think it's too much work, but I think it would have been cute if they would have been a set. But I don't think I have it in me to make 3 more. I need to get these done. I hate waiting until the last minute to do stuff, so. I'm trying to catch up with reading your responses. Oh, you're welcome, Sharon. Thanks, Brenda. I'll try to do that. I'll try to pop on later. If I can, I might just do it like real quick and show the finished results. Well, thanks for stopping by. Y'all have a great day. Take care.